This fight is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Referee for this event, Mike King.
It looks like Chang, if you're just visually looking at him, is taller and longer and lankier. And he is slightly taller, but not as much as you might think. Partly he is the body construction, and partly it's also a little bit of Chavez, the way in which he stands. You can see right away he's a lot more mobile too. Switching back, you have different stances. I was going to say it was important. Chavez showing his athleticism right away. Fantastic trip. Let's see if Chang uses that for a Kimura. You see him posting on the right hand to control the hips of Chavez, not having a whole lot of success right now.
Chang in the red gloves, Chavez in the blue gloves. Both fighters right here in front of the table, right on the Max Muscle logo.
Great job blocking the arm and spinning behind it by Chavez. For a moment there, Chang, you can see on that left side, he's getting the underhook now on the right side, and he's posting on the left elbow before Rene was taking that away from him.
I'm going to tell you, this is one of those things like I do on my driver's license. I like to be 5'8", 5'9". I'm not really sure.
Is he allowed to throw elbows as an amateur? I'm not so sure that's what he's allowed to do.
I'm just not sure if you're, I don't know what that was, maybe behind the head? That's the only thing I can think of.
Could be as well.
You are allowed to throw elbows, but just not maybe behind the ear or behind the head.
Yeah, you're right.
Behind the head.
Yep.
Yeah. Over my years of being here, Luke, I've seen plenty of elbows where guys come up and they just don't look right after those elbows.
The rules are always changing, the state to state. I apologize for my...
Yeah, you don't know anything, Luke.
I guess I don't.
All right, Mike King starts him back up. Lost a point for Chavez as they make their way back into the middle of the ring.
So my takeaway from that last exchange was that Chavez might be the better wrestler, certainly the more dynamic athlete, but he was having trouble keeping Chang flat on his back. Boy, Chang is just rushing in. He's going to get cracked if he's not careful.
Yeah, but Chavez is kind of playing into this. It looks like he's just throwing haymakers too.
A little bit, but not as much. And also, you notice he's able to get low on him. Good job holding the full guard and then jumping into guillotine. Oh, that's tight. He has to lean to one hip to really finish it. Chavez doing the right thing by tripoding up, getting his rear end in the air. And it looks like he broke it now, hand fighting. Good job by Chavez. He's putting a little bit of danger there. Nice reaction from Chang, but Chavez showing a little bit more hustle.
Pretty smart by Chavez. Chavez on top.
The guard's
Chang
wide open.
on the bottom.
Guard's wide open. To do anything, though, you got to create space. Just chest to chest like that, you're going to get gift wrapped or Kimura'd. He might get omoplated on that right side if he's not careful. I like how Chang uses his length effectively in a guard.
Well, he didn't do a whole lot there.
Well, he just, as soon as I say that, he just gets past. But you can see, look, Chang keeps getting to turtle. And he might be giving up his back, and he might be getting his guard passed, but he's not being held down. It's a little bit more difficult of a skill to do. Chang back to his feet. Let's see if Chavez wants to take him back down or separate.
Oh, good rights and lefts by Chavez. Maybe not a lot of, but what was that?
Chang getting his Nick Diaz on. But look, his head is, he's going to get cracked, I'm telling you.
Two great rights and lefts.
Head is straight up in the air, not moving at all.
The first time we've seen Chang here at Cagezilla, and 0-1 for Chavez at the end of round number 1. This fight brought to you by Freedom Bail Bonding. Everyone loves freedom. Round number 2 coming up. There were a couple of great lefts and rights by Chavez there at the end of the fight.
Let's take a look at the highlight here. You can see, look, he gets to his base. Now, those were behind the head, as you pointed out before.
The point taken away.
But you can see here, he's finding moments of offense, I would say more on the ground.
This is where he gets out of the guillotine.
But look at his head's not moving at all. There's no head movement, no throwing when he's getting his head off center. It's just kind of blitzing forward with punches. That may work for you, that may not. It's just you're flipping a coin when you do that.
As we look at Chang in the corner, what is his instructor telling him?
Probably do less of the thing where you just move forward and not move your head.
Right.
Especially against a guy who can move in the dynamic kinds of way. Let me just say something. Whatever Chang might lack in technical finesse at this early stage in his career, he makes up for it with gumption. That kid has serious balls.
Just run
taunting your opponent in front of you in your in your MMA debut.
Right.
That's crazy.
As we make our way into round number 2, this fight is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. The referee for this event is Mike King as he brings them to the middle. No touching of the gloves as both these guys go toe-to-toe.
Okay, so look, he's on the left side. He should be throwing that middle kick right to the body. Set it up if you have to, but at least get out there and take advantage of the opportunity. You see him lunging in with straight. No jab from either guy.
Chavez in the blue gloves, Chang in the red gloves. Couple of left.
Chavez doing a better job at trunk movement, by the way. Sorry to cut you off there. But you can see he's moving a little bit when Chang throws. You see that? He leg kicked him and then slid out, crow hop 2 sides out. Doesn't stay in the same spot and swings. If Chang connects, he moves. Decent overhand right, but I wish he would have followed it with a takedown.
Couple of rights and lefts.
There he goes, inside
Chavez.
control. It looks like Chang has a hell of a chin on him too. He is hard to hurt.
Couple of rights to the body of Chavez. Chang up against the cage.
Chang doing a really good job keeping his left leg on the outside of the front right leg of Chavez so he doesn't get swept with a single or turn and Chavez can run the pipe. This is putting tremendous strain on the lower back of Chavez as he reaches like that to try and make something happen with that single.
Chang looks exhausted.
Which, look at who's making the choices about offense. It's Chavez. Yeah. Chavez breaks when he wants to break. He closes distance when he wants to close distance. It's Chang who's reacting. And look at his right hand. Look at his right hand. It's covering his abs. There's got to be a left hook opportunity coming for Chavez if he wants to find it right there. Parry the jab, get your head off center, and then crack him.
Good lefts and rights. Chavez pushes Chang against the cage. Ooh, some knees a little low. Rights and lefts from Chavez. Both fighters standing toe-to-toe.
And they're both kind of walking. I'd be a little bit careful about that.
Ooh, good right from Chang.
That should result in a takedown if he can drive us forward just like that. He's got his hands clasped. He's going for a ride.
Good takedown. 30 seconds left, round number 2.
And now he's going to get either mount or 3/4 mount. It doesn't look like Chang's going to hold the foot. So IBJJF rules, it's still not quite mount, but it's pretty close for MMA purposes.
Gotta watch the elbows. Here we go. Chavez on top.
He's got to make something happen here.
Chang is in real trouble.
Good job not getting turned when Chang pushed off the cage.
That's the end of round number 2 here in Cagezilla. Wow, that's a pretty good fight right there in the round number 2. I thought that Chavez came out a little stronger. Chang landed some rights and lefts though, Luke.
He's defensively pretty sound, not so much in the standing department, but on the ground. He's a little hard to pass on. Now, in that end of the round, we saw him do that. But here you see, look, mentioned it before, who's dictating what happens in this fight? Maybe Chang gets a punch in, but it's Chavez throwing the elbows over the top like that, closing the distance when he wants to close, dodging these punches. Now, that one landed good for Chang, but there's just no follow-up there. There's no kick to the body. And here he gets his hands clasped and takes Chang down to the mat.
And he may have got some points for that, but I don't think that had any effect on Chavez. It didn't have a lot of
there wasn't a lot of pop because
yeah.
he's arm punching a little bit too much. And also, look, he took him down and moved to mount and threw good hard punches. They were right here in front of our broadcasting position. I could hear them even with my headphones on.
If you're Chavez's coach right now, what are you telling him?
Do more of what you did in the second one. Pick your time. Find your moment, get him against the cage, switch to a double, scoop him off his feet, and let's ground and pound this guy. Don't worry about submissions. They'll present themselves. Let's hurt him. Let's physically make him make bad choices in the grappling department with strikes.
In the history of fighting, is it better to be taller or smaller?
I actually think it's better to be smaller. I really do. And I said that as a guy who's 6'4". I see so many tall guys who just don't know how to use their length. I mean, look at this. He has a reach advantage, not hugely significant, but enough where if he was popping the jab, could Chavez as easily close the distance? I don't know. Doesn't get his head off center and gets cracked for it.
2 good rights from Chavez landed on Chang. Chang in the red gloves, Chavez in the blue gloves. Oh, another good right.
Now they're both exchanging here. But this is what I mean when they do that. It's just a coin flip, man.
Both fighters right here in front of the broadcast. Somebody's bleeding.
So you see how his position, his hips are this way, his legs are out, that being Chang, so you can't quite do a double, you can't get your hands clasped. But you might be able to get a single or make him stumble off the single attempt to then recapture a double. But what you're looking for is him to get his hands clasped together behind the legs for that double leg attempt.
Chavez may be the one that's bleeding. I can't tell, but somebody is bleeding. Not very bad.
I can't see from this position. I have the backs to both of them. I think they don't know either.
Yeah, Chang's checking himself. Chavez is checking himself.
They both did a double take there.
I can't really tell, but there's definitely some blood. Maybe from the nose of Chavez. From the nose of Chavez. I guess one of the rights, or maybe that knee caught him. Oh, good left. Oh, good right.
Good timing on the uppercut by Chang.
Oh, Chavez with his back to it.
Okay, you got to get off the cage immediately. Good right by him. Strong round for Chang already. He doesn't look as tired, and he's, you know what, again, I mentioned it before, he's early in his career. He's not going to have all the technical skills he needs to do what he wants, but look at the courage. Look at the pocket presence. Look at the guy who is totally fearless. That's Chang.
Now we're just throwing haymakers between both fighters. They are starting around North Carolina and bringing them up through Virginia, because those are just wide open haymakers from both fighters.
Yeah, these are bus driver uppercuts. There he goes. Gets his hands clasped, though. That's what he needed. Boom. That should be enough, and it is. He's so tired, though, he's almost going to get omoplated here if he's not careful. If he's not, he's going to get omoplated. If he can just get his left leg in front of the face and block, he needs to block Chavez from stepping over or rolling through. That's what that left hand of Chang is doing. It's called a seat belt. He's letting it go. I'm not sure. Oh, I guess he wants him to roll so you can get on top.
That's
a bad mistake.
That was his lack of experience.
Not necessarily. If you can roll them, you can move on top if you're quick enough, but he just didn't seem to have the gas.
Right. About 10 seconds left in round number 3. Both fighters gassed out. Chavez on top, Chang on the bottom.
And look, the left knee of Chang is not blocking the hip of Chavez. So Chavez is able to smother him, stay on top of him. For a knee shield, that would need to be inside.
And that's the end of round number 3. What a great fight. Man, both these guys exhausted, and I like to see that.
You know what's funny? The NCAA wrestling tournaments are happening, and these guys, when their match is over, they barely shake hands. In MMA, these guys embrace like they're brothers. Look at these. Good big right. Overhand right.
Good right. Let's see if we can see where Chang caught him in the nose. Rights, lefts. Oh, that one may be right there. That right may have caught him right before he got against the cage. There's another right.
Chang's got some ability. He's got a good chin, and he's got good accuracy with his punches for someone at this level of the game. What he needs to do, though, is maybe just tighten up the distancing.
All right, we'll go get the call from the cage here. Chang and Chavez. Up next, Ronnell White and Brandon Lewis. It's Cagezilla right here in Ashburn, Virginia.
Ladies, more time for both these fighters this evening. That's what we came out to see. Just some great fighting. Ladies and gentlemen, the judges have scored this fight unanimous. 28-30, 28-29, and 27-30. Winner, out of the blue corner, Rene Chavez! Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, still to come, the title fight tonight. Our main event between George, Billy, and Todd Olshauser coming up. Also, the co-main event tonight, Scott Noble and Mike DeSantos. Also tonight, as soon as the event is over here in Ashburn, Virginia, make sure you make your way over to the Hoopers and Chiyeh. That's where our official after party is.
Taking a look here at Chang and Chavez. Chang had great gameness pushing forward, but it was Chavez who was able to use more dynamic elements of the game to get it done. More Cagezilla coming right back.